Hi everybody, today you're going to learn two things about cylinders. Number one, how to take the volume, and number two, how to find the surface area. So let's start with the easier one. Volume is much easier for a cylinder. So we're going to draw the cylinder, which would be a circle on the top and an identical circle on the bottom. So that is a cylinder. It has a top and a bottom that are identical. Now here's the great thing about the formula. The formula is going to be volume equals big B times H. And that's just like we learned with the prism. It's base times height, just like a rectangle, except this is a capital B, so that means it's the area of the base. Area of the base. And this is the same exact formula, whether it's a cylinder or it's a prism. And a prism would be if it had a rectangle or a triangle on the top and the bottom. So it's exactly the same formula. All right, so we're going to find the volume by finding the area of the base, finding the area here, and then we're just going to multiply it by how tall the cylinder is. So let's give an example. I'm going to do a little radius right here. So from there to there, the center to the outside, let's say it is 4 inches. Okay, and let's do the height of 10 inches. All right, so what I have to first do is find the area of the base. Well, here it is. The base is a circle. So I'm going to draw the circle. And I'm going to relabel everything. It was a circle that had a radius of 4. Now we're going to find the area, the flat part of this circle. Well, the formula for area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. Okay, we know the radius, the little rad part, the little part right here is 4. And we know the diameter, the long diameter, would just be 4 and 4, which is 8. But we actually don't need the diameter in this problem. We just need just the half part, just 4. So area equals pi, if we estimate it, is 3.14, because this is irrational. It goes on and on and on forever. It never stops. So we're just going to do an approximate answer. So I need to change that to, it's approximately 3.14. And then we're going to do the radius, and we're going to square it. The radius is from the center to the outside, so that's 4. Okay, following PEMDAS, order of operations. All right, and don't forget M and D are friends, so whoever comes first in the problem goes first. And the same thing with adding and subtracting. Okay, now let's look to see. Area is approximately 3.14. Now, we don't have any real parentheses because there's not a problem on the inside. This is really multiplying, so it's really an M. So we don't have any parentheses, but we do have an exponent. So we're going to do the exponent first. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, and then we're going to multiply, and we get area is approximately, let me get my calculator, 3.14 times 16, which is 50.24. Now it's area, and we used inch, I think, for the unit, so it's going to be inch squared, because area is always squared. Now I'm going to remember that this part is really important. Let's look back at what we're actually doing. We're finding the volume. Now the volume is, if you were to open up this can or this bucket, whatever it is, the volume is how much liquid would go inside. Okay, so if we were to fill this bucket up with chocolate or with water or with lemonade, I don't know, whatever you want in there, how much liquid could go in there? So we need to find the whole volume. Right now, we found the area of the base. So we need to know how far that goes up. Well, it goes up by 10 inches right there. So we're going to do volume equals the area of the base, which we got was 50, and then we're going to times it by the height, which is 10. All right, so here we go. Volume equals area of the base times height. The base was a circle, and the area, the flat area of that, was 50.24. And we get inches squared, and then we're going to multiply it by the height, how tall the cylinder is, which is 10 inches. All right, so volume equals 50.24 times 10. If you're timesing by 10, you can move the decimal over by one spot, one decimal place. So we're going to move it over 1. So it's 502.4. So 502.4. Now we have inch times inch times inch. which is inch to the third power. And that's why volume is always cubed. It's always to the third power. So the volume of the whole cylinder would be 502.4 inches cubed. Okay? All right, and that's how you find the volume of a cylinder. Volume is the inside part. Find the area of the bottom, and then times it by the height. Now what we're going to do is find the surface area. And surface area is going to be a little bit harder. Here we go. And this, so surface area of a cylinder. So surface areas of a cylinder, let me draw the cylinder again. You could probably do the same cylinder. So that is a 4, and that is 10 inches. Okay, the bottom is a little bit messed up, but that's okay. All right, so this time we're going to find the surface area of a cylinder. This is much more difficult, but it's still doable. We can still do it. Okay, that would be like if you were to take this can and dip it into a liquid or dip it into chocolate, how much of the outside part would be covered? So it's the outside layer. It's everything is sealed, so nothing is going to get inside. Okay, so it's not liquid filling up this bucket. It's just the outside part being covered with some liquid. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna draw the net of it first, so we can see what kind of shapes we're looking at. So if you look at this part right here, we have to draw that laying flat out. So this is actually a rectangle, and I'll prove it. I'm going to show you a circle, a cylinder. Let me get my big hands out of the way first. Hold on. I should have painted my nails, but you know. Okay, so this is a cylinder right here. And if you were to take this cylinder, and it has a top and a bottom, but I don't have it. If you were to undo it, it looks like a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to take this part right here and unfold it, and it's going to be a rectangle. Okay, now this side of the rectangle is the same as this side, which would be a 10. So this side, this side, this side, this side, those are all 10 inches. Okay, that's very helpful. All right, now on the top and the bottom, we're going to have circles. And here's the circle. It has a radius of 4. So these are both identical because on a Coke can or whatever you have, the top and the bottom have to match. Otherwise, it won't close up properly. And that's it. All right, so now what we're going to do is find the surface area. Surface area is just finding the area of this, this, and this, and adding them all up. Seems pretty easy, right? Well, let's see. Let's find the area of the circle first. That might be a little bit easier to do. Okay, so there's the circle, and we're going to find the area. So you have to remember the formula for the area of a circle, and that's pi r squared. So the area would be pi is 3.14, and the radius is little one rad, that's 4, and we're going to square it. And we are estimating this pi, so we're going to make it approximately. All right, area is approximately 3.14, and then 4 squared is 16. And we did this with the other problem when we found the area of the base. So it's kind of like the other problem a little bit. And that was 50.24. And I'm not going to write a unit right now because we have other problems to worry about. Okay, so this area right here, the area of the base, we already knew that from the other problem. The area is 50.24. 50.24. Well, I don't need to do this problem because I already know the area of this is exactly the same. It's 50.24. All right, we have this area, we have this area. The only thing now that we need to do is figure out this area. Then we can add them all up and have all the surfaces all together. Well, it's just a rectangle. You'd think it was pretty easy, right? Length times width or base times height. The problem is we don't have the base. It's not here. If this was a 2, that'd be great. It would be 2 times 10, 20, we'd be done. Unfortunately, oh, that's a bad example. It would be more than 10, but that's okay. Not drawn to scale. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how long this piece is. Well, it's connected to the circle. If we look right here, this is that top part. So I'm going to highlight it in, let's see, pink. So here is this part right here. I want to know what is that length because I need to do length times width or base times height, same thing. So this part is that right there, and it goes all the way around. So we need to find that. Well, if I were to take, and let me show you the circle again, the cylinder. Not circle, a cylinder. Here's our cylinder. Oh, my nails are terrible. Okay, here is the cylinder. And if I were to open up this, here's the part we need. We need that part or this part. Okay, well, if I put it together, like my drawing, it's just the perimeter of the circle, right? And we don't actually say perimeter, we say circumference. So if we can, my dog is moaning because she's listening to math. Okay, so what we need to do in order to find this part, we need to find the circumference of the circle. Okay, like the perimeter of the circle. Okay, so let's do that. Let's draw the circle again. And we're going to find this time not the area of it, but the circumference. And again, let me use my little marker. That is the outside perimeter, the circumference. New formula, it is going to be circumference equals pi d. All right, circumference equals pi is going to be 3.14, and this time we need the diameter. Well, this is the little rad radius. It's little. We need the whole thing. So 4 and another 4 would equal 8. So this diameter would actually be an 8. And we estimated again, so I need to make that approximately. All right, so now let me get my calculator. We're going to do 3.14 times 8, and we get 25. My calculator went away. Oh, hold on one second. 25.12. Oh, that's going to make that yucky, but that's okay. Okay, so 25.12, and that would just be inch. It's just a distance around something, so we just need inch. When we did area earlier, that was actually inch squared. I should have written that down. Okay, so the circumference going around that is 25.12, which makes this 25.12. Not a very nice length, but it's going to work. All right, now we can take this rectangle out and we will find the area of that. Okay, so here's the rectangle. And we found this length was 25.12 and this was 10. Okay, the formula for the area of a rectangle is area equals base times height, or length times width, same thing. And the base, the bottom, would be the same as this, 25.12, and we're going to times it by 10. And it would be helpful if you could see the problem. Okay, base times height, we have the base of 25.12 times the height. So the area of the rectangle would equal, I'm just going to move that decimal over 1 because we're timesing by 10, 251.2. All area is squared, so we'd have inch squared. Okay, so let's go write that down. Remember that number, 251.2. 251.2. Oops, I should have done that in red. 251.2. All right, so we need to find the surface area of the whole cylinder. We found the area of the circle, the area of the other circle, same number, and then the area of the rectangle, which was a little bit challenging because we didn't have the length, we didn't have the base. We had the height, but not the base. And we had to find the circumference of the circle to find that length. Once we did length times width, and we got this number. Now, to find the surface area of the whole thing, we just have to add these areas up. So we have 251.2 plus 50.24 plus 50.24. Make sure your decimals line up. And the reason you line up your decimals is because these are all whole numbers, and these are all these are all decimals. They're parts of things. So let's add a little 0 here. 0 plus 4 is 8. 2, 4, 6. 1 plus 0 and 0 is 1. 5, 10, 15. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our surface area is 351.68. And it actually should be like approximate because we rounded all of our pies. And that would be the answer. Now, it's inch. And try to think if it would be just a normal inch, squared, or cubed. If it's the area, the surface area. All right, area is always squared. And that would be the final answer. Thank you. Good luck with that.